Hey golf people, it isn't too often that a club sells out in 48 hours, and it's even less often that that happens with a boutique micro brand. Well, it did just happen. I've actually got the club here in my hands. This is the Tacomo Udi. This is a driving iron. I've got the 3-iron version of this thing, and on today's video, I'm gonna put it up head to head against another driving iron, my Ping Eye crossover. We'll see the similarities and differences of these clubs. The Ping, $249 at retail. The Tacomo, $119. That's a $130 disparity. Will we see $130 of performance gains out of this Ping? We're gonna find out. Later on the episode, I'm actually gonna take this out on course because Takomo on their website is saying that this could replace your hybrid in the bag. I carry a hybrid, a 3 hybrid in fact, and we're gonna see out on course, can the Tacomo actually replace a hybrid? If it can, this club becomes a lot more attractive, but if it can't, there's gonna be a little bit more narrow of an audience for the Tacomo Udi, in my opinion. Let's get to work and find out. All right, first up here is the Ping Eye crossover. Now, just like the Tacomo, the standard setting is 20-degree loft, although this has variable adjustments. So you can actually go up 1.5 degrees, down 1.5 degrees, I believe. So it's quite versatile. Let's see how it performs here though against the Tacomo apples to apples. I pushed that one off to the right a bit, but tell you what, this contact felt great there in the center of the club face. We rolled out to 217. My club head speed was 93, ball speed 130. It carried 202. And the spin there, 37.49. Shot 2 coming with the Ping. Probably got just a little bit more club speed there. Again, it's fading on me just a tad, but it's just a little right center. Real good shot, great contact there. Nice compression. Club head speed was 89. Interesting, because I thought that it was going to be a little bit higher, but ball speed was higher, 133. It carried 207, total 223. And the spin there, 38.24. Shot 3 here with the eye crossover. That one is just a straight bullet. Nice height there. It'll be interesting to see the peak height when we test all these clubs. Basically right down the middle. We roll down to 219. Club speed up again, 91. Ball speed 132. Carried 204, total 220. Now, like I said, I've got this eye crossover set to 20 degrees, but normally I play it at 19 degrees. I get a few extra yards out of it. But for the sake of this video and the comparison, I want to keep it the same as Tacomo's. Take one more shot here, and then we'll switch. Now that one wasn't out of the center. That was off the toe. But still a pretty good result. Not going to be as long, but it's in the middle of the fairway, and that's what you want to do with something like this. These clubs are meant for people who are looking for a fairway finder, not necessarily extreme distance. Now, club head speed was back up there at 92. Ball speed was 123, so down because it wasn't a center hit there. It carried 189, and it rolled down to 207. Still acceptable. So we're going to leave that one in there, I think, and we're going to switch over now to the Tacomo. Now, and looking at these shafts, the Ping is actually, I'd say, 1/2 inch to 1 inch longer. You see more of the backside of the club here with the Tacomo. You see it looks almost more hybrid-like. The Ping at address, you don't really see the backside of the club, but you certainly do here with the Tacomo. All right, here we go, Tacomo in hand. Oh, it felt nice coming off the club. Just like that first Ping. It's fading on me just a tad. I kind of like when that happens because I like to have them as close as possible till we get the apples to apples. Club head speed 90, ball speed 130, so that was good on a 90-mile-an-hour swing. Carried 200, total 215. Spin there, 39.50. So actually a little bit higher spin than we saw into the Ping. Shot 2. Ooh, that felt good. Now that is going a little left, but the feeling of this club might actually be a little bit better than the Ping when it's hit in the middle. Club head speed was 89, ball speed 132, carried 202, total 220. That means our spin's down, which you can see there, 34. 49 is the number. Shot 3. Probably my best one of those 3. Nice baby draw, just slightly left of center. Looks like we rolled out to 217, so these numbers looking scarily similar to the pings, with the exception of the spin is a little different. Club head speed 88, so it's actually the lowest I've had so far. Ball speed 128, carried 198, rolled out to 217. That's because the spin was down again, 34.25. So after we got past that first shot, spin now actually a little lower than the eye crossover. I'm going to hit one more here. Oh, and just like my last shot with the ping, it's almost like those 4 swings were about as close as I could get them. The last shot with the ping was a little off the toe. This was a little off the toe. I could feel that, but still a pretty good result. Club head speed 90, ball speed 131, carried 201, total 218, spin 39.25. I think the club head speed was down just a little bit there because this shaft is maybe just a little bit smaller. That could be part of it. Anyway, let's take a look at the numbers in a little bit more detail. All right, so first we're going to look at club speed. Like I said, 91.4 for the ping, 89.2 miles per hour there for the Tacomo Udi. So basically 2 miles per hour difference. And I saw this out on course actually when I was testing this club out on course before today. It's about 1 or 2 mile per hour lower on the same type of swing because I have a very consistent swing. What's nice to see is basically the smash factor. Bushnell Launch Pro and Foresight calls this efficiency. But take a look at this, 1.42 for the ping, 1.46 for the Tacomo. That is unexpected, I've got to say. Now, 2 shots here, especially that last one with the ping off the toe, in about the same spot I hit the Tacomo. Like I said, it felt better out of the Tacomo off the toe. And look at that, that's a huge difference, 1.34 to 1.45. So that's very, very interesting. Let's move on to the ball data here. Ball speed leaving the club on 2 mile per hour slower swing. This is, I would never have guessed this, but it's actually higher with the Tacomo Udi, 130.1 to 129.4. Interesting, very, very interesting that with 2 miles per hour, more club speed, we still got better ball speed there from the Tacomo. Small sample size, obviously, 4 shots. Launch angle higher there with the ping, 14.4 degrees to 12.7. Again, looking at spin, pretty close. We're only about 40-ish RPM difference there. Ping 37.24 RPMs versus 36.87 for the Tacomo. So really, really close. A little bit more side spin, and we saw a little bit more draw there with the Tacomo. It could be shaft kick. There's a lot of things that go into that, but just want to point that out. In terms of descent angle, it's in the ping's favor. You're going to have maybe a little bit more stopping power here with the ping that goes higher off the club and has a steeper descent angle, 41.3 degrees versus 38.4 degrees. We saw that they didn't quite roll out as much with the ping. In terms of offline, the average overall is actually in the Tacomo's favor, but the way the Foresight does it, if I go severely left or severely right, then it averages maybe tighter than this. But if we look at the standard deviation, 9.1 to 16, I would say the dispersion is probably going to be just a slightly tighter there with the ping. In terms of peak height, again, you're getting 4 yards more of peak height out of the ping here. Again, smaller sample size, but it's pretty clear. I had one up there at 33 yards, the highest for the Tacomo, 30 yards. All right. In terms of carry, really close on average. 201 in the ping's favor to 200. In terms of rollout, you get the extra 2 yards of rollout there with the Tacomo, 218 yards versus the ping at 217. So here we've got a $249 driving iron. Here we've got a $119 driving iron. That's $130 difference. What you're paying here for the ping is, of course, the name ping. That's going to be one. You're also paying for that adjustability. That's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of lower handicap players who really want to fine tune their trajectory and ball flight. That's going to be in the ping's favor. Price absolutely in the Tacomo's favor, and at 20 degrees at least, very, very similar. Shockingly so. I thought this one was going to win out. I would say you could probably flip a coin depending on which stats you like for your game on which one you should choose. Now, by looks, I would choose the Ping for sure down at address as a more player look to it. You don't really see the backside like you do here on the Takomo. But if you're looking for a little extra help, certainly a little thicker sole there, and of course that thicker back side is going to help you with the Takomo. So I would say this one maybe is looking a little bit better for your mid to higher handicaps, but this is going to be looking a lot better for you lower handicaps out there. Great product though that Takomo has put out. Now I do want to take this Tacomo UDI out on course, and we're going to do that next. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to test it in various situations up against my hybrid. All right, I got my Garmin G80 here, which is going to give us not only accurate GPS distances, but it's also going to give us some launch data. First up here, I've got my hybrid. Good strike, drawn right down the center of the fairway. Probably going to end up left side of the fairway after a big bounce there. Club head speed 95, ball speed 137, smash 1.44. And that's another good one. Nice high trajectory. Again, pretty central, although that's probably going to finish right side of the fairway on this dog leg. Club head speed 95, ball speed 134, smash 1.41. I'm going to switch over now to the UDI. These balls do not have a mark on them. The other balls have a silver dot on them, so that's how we'll tell the difference out there. Oh, good shot. Maybe even a little higher trajectory. That is very central in the fairway. Big bounce forward. Felt good coming off the club head. Club head speed 91, ball speed 129, smash 1.42. Oh, another good one. Baby draw. Boy, both of those felt great. The club speed is not as high as with the hybrid, and I think that has to do with the shaft being just a little shorter, so more control potentially, but club head speeds are going to be down. Club head speed 93, ball speed 132, smash 1.42. Let's measure them and see where these things ended up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 balls, all pretty close to each other. All were really great swings. Let's see which is which here. This is 220 yards. That's our unmarked ball there. That means that's the Tacomo UDI. That is dead center. Now there's a ball right here, literally 2 steps away at 222. Guess what? That is also a UDI. Pretty consistent there, 222. But these are definitely longer. This is right side of the fairway here. This is, of course, going to be our hybrid. A little bit faster club head speed. Again, I think that shaft has something to say about that. 233. Right side fairway. Now this, I gotta say, I'm surprised it's in the rough because it landed pretty central in the fairway and it just seemed to kick very far left. Maybe just the way it hit the little hill there, I don't know. But that's our other hybrid, 240. Great distance, but we are in the rough there. All right, so we're sacrificing a little bit of distance here with the Tacomo, but maybe we could get a little bit more consistency out of it as well. The shorter shaft, again, may be playing a role there, but it certainly works. So for you bigger hitters out there, for you folks that don't necessarily need that extra ball speed coming off the club face, I think the UDI could work, but you are gonna give up probably 10 yards or so off the tee. Next, I took it out into the fairway. And as you can see, I'm hitting a few shots off the deck. I like this club off the deck in a nice tight lie. I think this could perform just as well as it does off the tee. Now, off the deck, I wasn't getting quite as much yards. I was hitting this about 200 versus my 215 or so off the tee, but still getting nice height, getting a nice lift off the club face, good trajectory, piercing trajectory, and not necessarily super stopping power, but with a club like this, you're probably not looking for it to exactly stick. You're trying to get as much as you can out of it. Next, I took it to the rough, and I gave myself not the perfect lie, but a lie that I would play a hybrid off of, something that was fair enough to try to get my hybrid down into. And I gotta say, this is where the Tacomo performed the most poorly for me in my testing. On these off-center hits, as you can probably see here, it actually hurt my hands. This club felt really good in the simulator. It felt really good on the range when you hit it well, but when you hit it poorly, you can really feel it, especially if you hit it low on the club face. So overall, this is my biggest negative to the Tacomo UDI. If you're not getting really good contact, your hands could suffer for it. Of the many shots I hit out of the rough, only a couple of them were really good and I could say would replace my hybrid here. So again, this is the part where I think the Tacomo fell short the most. Finally, I took this to a bunker, and again, out of the bunker in a good lie, a tighter lie, this club performed pretty darn well. It got up over the lip very easily, nice height, and it flew pretty far. I'll show you the distance here in just a second. I did actually hit a shot here with my hybrid, just again to get an apples to apples to see if this would replace my hybrid in the bag. All right, so surveying the land, we've got one here on the right side of the fairway. We've got that one up there. We have this one here on the left. The one on the right and the left are going to be the Tacomo UDIs. 178 here. Got 0 roll, as you can see it kind of embedded there in the rough. Over here on the right side of the fairway, we're at 177. So again, consistency in terms of distance with this club is pretty incredible. That's what we'd be left with. But I did back there hit a hybrid just to see and get an apples to apples. And here it is, dead center of the fairway, 207. All right, so there is a big difference there in terms of yardage. So as you can see, more distance there out of the bunker with the hybrid as you would expect. So in general, I'm getting 10 to 15, as much as 20 yards more with that hybrid. I don't see myself personally taking the hybrid out of the bag for this club. And for that reason, I do think there is a more narrow market for the Tacomo UDI. If you're searching for a UDI or a driving iron, definitely this one should be on your radar. For me though, a person that doesn't have a huge swing speed, who doesn't generate a ton of power, I just need the extra help from a hybrid myself. But if you're a lower handicapper looking for something that's a fairway finder off the tee, I do think you're gonna like the feel, the performance, and the consistency out of this Tacomo. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this comparison. I hope it opened your eyes to a brand that you're maybe not so familiar with. Tacomo clubs in general have great value. I do love their irons. I think these are great irons for a mid-handicapper. If you're in the market for a new set of irons, you don't want to spend a ton of money, check this video out. I'll catch you back here real soon on another edition of Let's Play